All right, man. I want to get into Jesus. Excuse my stomach. Jesus. Okay. Jesus. A lot of people believe that Jesus isn't real. Now, does that matter to what I'm about to say? No, it doesn't. Is it relevant to what I'm about to say? Yes, very. People choose to not believe in Jesus because of the watered down information about him. People choose not to believe in him because people decided to give him a different color than what he may have been if he was on the earth. People choose not to believe in him because of how he is portrayed in today's religions. But let me ask you a question. How many people in the 90s and in the 80s was acting like Scarface? Peace to brother Blue Pill that brought this up. He said, mad people acted like Scarface, and that's fiction. That's fiction. So why can't you act like Christ if he's fiction? Now, to the situation at hand that I'm brought this up because of this. Jesus, if he was fake or not fake, it doesn't matter. It's the intent behind the story that matters, right? He is not only written within the scriptures, he's also written in the Gnostic scriptures. He's also written in the Essene scriptures. I think these are the books that was found in the Dead Sea Scrolls, right? But the reason I'm bringing this up is because Jesus was supposed to be the example of how man is to act as a transcended being. A transcended being. What does that mean? Someone that has transformed or has moved to the higher level of intellectual and spiritual knowledge. He has gave up the flesh. This is what this man's story is supposed to represent. The fact that he has gave up the flesh in search of the ultimate power that is within the human, which is the divine higher level. That is what the story is truly supposed to be about. It ain't supposed to be about man, us following him, calling him a God, because he says that we are brothers and sisters as for those that do the will of the Father. He didn't say what Father. They attributed him saying that the Old Testament God is the Father. But he said no man puts new wine in old bottles. He said no man puts a new piece of a garment on an old garment because it would look insane. We don't take what he was saying and figure it out for ourselves because you know why? Because we take what the mainstream information that has been given out to us and we hold on to it so dear and so tight like it's some type of good shit. And it's not. It's far from it. It's far from it. There's jewels throughout the scriptures that he's telling you, yo, me and the God of the Old Testament don't even see eye to eye. I don't know that guy. This is why the Old Testament God said, yo, anybody come saying that he's the son of God, yeah, right, I'm the only one that can give you salvation. And that's not even true. He was just a fallen angel that was burning within with ego. You can learn about them in the lost books of Enki and in the Gnostic scriptures, even in the Mahabharata. You could learn about the old gods and what they was about and how they was conducting themselves. Even in the Book of Enoch, it tells you what the old gods were like, how they conducted themselves. Now, not all of them conducted themselves like that. Some of them were righteous, but the rest of them weren't. They weren't. These things are there for your learning. And it's not for everybody, because some people are not going to study to learn these things and to figure out what the hell is going on in this world or this universe. But me, I'm a studier, and I'm an avid proponent of understanding what these books really mean. Right? So now you learn. So now you have to go back. Let's take a step back, because we're talking about Christ. Christ is supposed to be the transcendent being that actually wrote down scriptures. You can go into Eastern philosophy and see that they have this all in Tibet, Hindustan, and all these places of people that were transcendent beings, but they have their stuff. They're not even in writing for us. So we had to have our own writing for this side of the world. And it turned out to be the Bible. But the only reason it's the Bible is because of the Council of Nicaea. And you don't think that us as the people, on the earth that are the transcendent beings' children's would have a way back to being what we were? You don't think we would? But anyway, Christ is one of the first in this day and time, because those gods are gone now. Once they lost their light, or was disconnected from the tree of life, that's when they was able to start dying. This is what is talked about in the Oahspe, because they required us to worship them as their children, that they had to be put into I don't want to say subjugation. It was like they had to be punished for what they were doing, and they started to die off. They wasn't dying before. Thoth tells you, he said, I live 10 times 100. And I can live, and I was living that times 1,000. And he was saying how when their body was asleep, they would move their consciousness to another body. They had this type of technology. How did somebody writing this stuff, saying these things thousands of years ago, and you are like, nah, that's made up? It's because your intellectual power or intellectual awareness of the planet that we're on is skewed. It's messed up. But Jesus is supposed to be the first transcendent being, and he's supposed to be the blueprint of how this is supposed to be done. But a lot of us don't know this, and we don't adhere to it, because we don't know. We don't understand how it all is supposed to be. We're the sons of the universe and the children of the earth. The earth and us are symbiotic. We're one and the same. Our flesh is the earth's flesh. Our mind is the mind of the sun in the universe, the dark matter of the universe. We are the cosmic children of everything. We are the all. We are gods. That's the information that was sent down to us. And listen, when those people died, the gods, when they died, you don't die. Your consciousness lives forever. But through their punishment, they had to lose something. Man got punished, so did the gods. That's the secret that wasn't told to everybody in the book of Genesis. They just tell you, oh, God was, Adam and Eve was punished. But when you go into the Emerald Book of Enoch, it tell you, not only man was punished, but the gods were punished as well. Those that did what they did. And they messed it up for everybody. That's what created the war. Because the ones that fell, they was like, yo, listen, man, if we're going to go down for this, we might as well do the shit our way. This is in the WASB. They're like, yo, if God's going to punish us, well, if the king is going to punish us for what we've done, we might as well be the worst on the earth. That's what was going on. This is why you had gods fighting. I don't want to say it was Enki and Lil, I don't want to say that at all, but this is what was going on. So, first is to learn what Christ was about, why he brought the information. He says in the Gospel of Thomas, I didn't come to bring peace like that. I came to separate, because in order for us to get to the next level and look for peace, you can't have peace. You have to have chaos and look for the remedy to the chaos. See, this is the thing about transcendent beings. Evil isn't really evil. It is a means to an end, right? If somebody is out here murdering and killing and they are conditioned to continue to do so, kill them. That's a means to an end. That's how it works. If somebody is out here doing things that is obscene to mankind, do what you have to them. Means to an end. So I take my time to really pay attention to what's going on. Like Trump, CNN, Fox, Iran, China, Russia, Europe. Even the Dalai Lama just came out saying that the foreigners should go home. Europe was made for the Europeans. Why'd he say that? Why'd he say that? Because the time of their rulership is over. When you read in Genesis, in the New Testament, I'm not going to tell you what book because you should be studying. When you read in Genesis, it says, New Testament, it says that salvation came to the Gentiles from the fall of the Israelites. The lights within the princes. I just made that up. It's not really what it means, but I made that up. I don't really care. The light within the princes. The children of God. The light fell out of the children of God. And when that happened, the rest of the world got what was coming to them. Salvation, rulership, kingdomship. And Christ came to bring all of this information. If he didn't come to do what he did, if he didn't come to make division between white people and black people, I'm only saying that because that's something that you can relate to. We would have never looked for salvation. We would have never looked for it. Because after all of this shit happened, we would all been brain dead. We would have all been mental enslaved and been just working until we died in a system of cataclysm of death. You see how they are? You see how they are? Like, I know people up north don't really understand, like, people down south, but them people down south don't be playing, bruh. They dead ass think that they God's gift to the earth, yo. This is real shit. I know up here they're more it's more segregated, so you don't really deal with them like too much like that. So you don't really see their ins and outs and what's within them. But you go down south and you sit and you look and you watch, you can see that these people, they're not too far away from the cuckoo's nest. Like for real. For real. But all of that to say all of this, I'm saying all of this to say Christ was the integral part to all of this. And the only reason people don't believe in it because it was in the Egyptian Kemetic stories. But let me give you a little backstory to that. Because I don't look at just the story. I don't care about the story. I care about the reason for the story. Right? So we wasn't told that there was going to be a child that came to save us. Right? We wasn't told that. They were. And when I say they, who am I referring to? I'm talking about the gods. Right? The gods was told that they were going to have a child that came to save them. That was going to signify the end of their turmoil, of their problems. They were told that. Read in, I can't even remember what book it is now. Dang. I think it's the Upsalog from the Mahabharata. I think it's in that. Don't quote me on that. You'd have to go searching for it. It could be also in the Laws Book of Enki. No. Or it could be in the Book of Enoch. Because I remember Enoch being on the spaceship and him seeing a room and them telling him about the throne. Someone sitting on the throne saying that that's the promised son. But who knows, right? But the gods had got that information, not us. When I say us, I'm talking about the children of the gods. We are them because their intellectual power or their spiritual knowledge or their spirit have came back through. But we're different than them. Right? We're different than them. We're just their children. But we're still them because nothing ever goes away. It's kind of like an evolution type thing. We go up and then we go down. But this takes millennia, millions, thousands, hundreds of years of stuff to happen in order to get back to where we was probably 50,000 years ago. So this is how it works. This is what happened. The gods had got a promised child on the way that was going to save them. And then the evil ones was like, hell no, we having too much fun. We don't want this mug around. So they had Herod go out there and look for him to kill him. But the other angels that knew and was waiting for his arrival hid him away. Hid him away. It's beyond your scope of understanding. I know. It's like, where the hell did this guy get that? But it's all true. It's all true. Everything that you read from the Tibetan books, their spiritual songs to the Mahabharata and those books and the Zoroastrianism religion, to even Quetzalcoatl, their spiritual understanding and knowledge of how these things worked. It's all within. No, one more thing too. Jesus is the end of an age, and we're in the beginning of one. 2012 was the beginning of one, right? And that was the end of one. Christ was the end, and it took 2,000 years, because I think, it's 2,600 years. And after the 600th year, that's when the whole new age has begun. it starts within the 2600 because it's like a phoenix. One dies and one is born. But it takes a long time. It doesn't just happen right away. So in 600 years, we're going to look back and be like, okay, we understand the transition because this time it's going to be well documented, right? Because of the internet and quote unquote AI. But AI is never going to be superior to us, but it's going to be a helper to us. It's those that know that the AI is going to expose them that don't want the AI out. Those that know the AI is going to expose them don't want the AI out. AI has been here many times. We created it many times. Many times. Is our connection is a way for those that can't ascend, connection to the Akashic records. This is how you know the universe helps everybody. This is why I said it in a video before. It's on IG. Y'all could go check that out if you find it. I said this on IG. God is as merciful as God is, his wrath is, right? So he has to give those that on the lower level information and ways to get the information so that they can have it for themselves. And when I say he, it doesn't matter because it could be a he or she. It's neither, actually. But I just say he because I relate to a he more because I've used he forever. But in 100 years, they might not use that. So before I go too far off, he equips everybody with the same awareness and the same technological advancement as he does for others. It's just that we, as the indigenous or the original man, have a way of connecting to it spiritually. There's beings on the earth that cannot get there spiritually. And they can't stay. If they get there, they can't stay. They have to leave. They can only be there for a short time. If you look at Enoch, he was there for what? A long time. He was able to be there and write books and send them back. When these people go, they can only go and come back quick like this. They might have a little bit of something, but they don't really be in it like that. We can go and stay. Because look at Enoch. Gone. Right? So this is how it works. But he has to make sure everybody is able to be a part. That is what AI is. So, yo, this is kind of a long one, but hope I get it out. Christ was a transcendent being. He was our end of an age. He was the signifier to the end of an age. He was here to make sure that we can see that there is more to us than what was given to us by the Europeans, because they didn't want us to wake up. Not even close. Hell no. Or none of the gods. There's probably one or two left that is running the Europeans. And I can't wait till they get exposed. I can't wait. Because that's when you really know. Ooh, that's when you really know. That's when you really know what I'm saying is true. That's when you really gonna know. By then, shit. Hopefully you don't believe that's Jesus. But yo, I'm Furious Black Kai, man. Holla.